Welcome to the third module of the Massachusetts Municipal Clerks Archival Educational Program. My name is Gregor Trinkus Randall. I'm the Preservation Specialist at the Massachusetts Board of Library Commissioners, which is the state library agency. I'm also an archivist and a librarian. The topic for this module is preservation. And in many ways, preservation is the key to all archival activity because obviously, if you don't have the materials there, they can't be used or accessed by other people. So why does it matter? It matters because we're responsible for the long-term retention of these records. And without taking appropriate steps to make sure that these records will be there in the future, we can't ensure that that's what's going to happen. And preservation allows us to do just that. What's important to realize, though, is unlike some of the steps that you may take as arrangement description or as appraisal, preservation is not a one-time deal. It's something that you are dealing with every single day when you're working with archival records, whether it's when you're doing arrangement description or whether it's ensuring that the climate control is working appropriately in your facility. So what I want to talk a little bit about today is some of the components that are in this module and what is involved in a preservation program. Preservation, as a general term, is essentially like an umbrella. The traveler's umbrella, for those who remember it, includes a whole series of other activities underneath it. This will include climate control, your holdings maintenance, proper storage and housing of the records, disaster preparedness and planning, integrated pest management, reformatting, proper handling procedures, among others. These are the major components that we would consider in a preservation program. Now, what are the components of this module? We are going to look at a series of sections that tell you why it matters and what are in depth some more description of what is there in each of those that I just mentioned. There's also a section on assigned readings, 2 of the leaflets from the Northeast Document Conservation Center, and a pretty significant list of resources that are available to you if you want to go further in your readings. There's also a vendors list. What's important to note about the vendors list is that we are not actually endorsing any of these, except that these are ones that are well known in the field. There's one caveat to that, and that is under the disaster recovery firms. These are 3 firms that are on the state contract here in Massachusetts, and you do not have to go to bid. You can make connections with them ahead of time, and preferably ahead of time, but at the time of the disaster. There's also a quiz following up on what we've done already as preservation activities during the course of the readings in the module to start with. There's a simulation dealing with the clerk in Chiltern Hills and a number of questions and decision points that you have to then answer and address after that. Finally, there's an assignment. This assignment is separate. It is a preservation self-assessment of the building and the records that it houses, along with a whole series of questions. And this is followed by a written assignment and discussion that's based on what you have learned in the course of the self-assessment. So I hope that this will intrigue you and move you along in the direction that we're generally headed in preserving records. Thank you, and have a good time.